afternoon, South Africa. Welcome back. We're live on SABC3. This is Afternoon Express. I'm Bonang Mateva.
And I'm Bonnie Booley. Welcome to another inspirational Tuesday on Afternoon Express. Now, there's been a lot of negativity circulating our airwaves in South Africa lately. So today we thought we'd focus on something positive, which is our rich and diverse storytelling legacy.
Absolutely. Very excited. We've got some really awesome guests in the loft today. I'm going to be chatting to Anele Matoti, who just came back from a European tour of the stage production Red Earth Revisited. He's going to tell us about his experience and also give us his insight on the power of storytelling in South Africa.
Yeah, we're also joined by award-winning poet Nathan Trantraal, as well as author of best-selling coffee table book, Awesome South Africa.
Absolutely, but what is Afternoon Express without a little bit of music? Luna Paige is here as well, singer-songwriter. It's going to give us a live in the loft performance just for you. You've got tons to give away today, so make sure you keep it locked right there.
And what is Afternoon Express without Jeannie?
What is Afternoon Express without food? Jane Dizzle, how are you doing, boo?
Thank you, my lovely ladies. It feels like I haven't seen you in so long because the show hasn't been on, obviously, due to the cricket. And I've also been told that we're keeping things positive on the show today, which means I'm not allowed to talk about the cricket or the Proteas or the fact that they played. But anyway, welcome to the show on this glorious Tuesday afternoon. It actually almost feels like Monday, but it's still going to be quite a good week right here on Afternoon Express. And you know it's going to be good when it starts off with glorious, gorgeous Lexi Bird in the kitchen and chocolate-hazelnut scrumptious meringues.
Yes.
I mean, tell me about that process. What are we doing?
We are going to whip up some meringues and we're going to fold in some chocolate hazelnut spread. We're also going to fold in a little bit of extra chocolate just to be sure. Then we're going to bake them. We're going to cover them in more chocolate. Then we're going to cover them in chocolate hazelnut spread and whipped cream, and then we're going to eat them.
Oh, Lexi, I do love whenever you're in the kitchen, you seem to bring out all of these amazing, gorgeous, decadent treats. So remember, if you want the recipes and, of course, the shopping list, all you need to do is visit afternoonexpress.co.za and you will be able to make these delicious chocolate hazelnut meringues with us today on the show. Welcome. Let's get the show on the road. Bonang is on the couch with our very first guest.
She's already so excited because of the Nutella. She can't even speak English, Jeannie. Keep it together. But anyway, today it's all about the power of storytelling right here in South Africa. And our first guest is well known across the country for his work on stage and screen. He has had roles in 90 Plain Street, Forced Love on SABC1, and the critically acclaimed miniseries, The Book of Negroes. And in 2015, he traveled Europe for the stage production of the authentically South African story called Red Earth Revisited. Joining us on the couch is veteran actor Anele Matoti. Welcome to the loft. Lovely to finally meet you.
Very nice to meet you too, Queen Bee.
I mean, you know, I keep track on all my favorite celebrities, and in 2015 you had an incredible year. You won a Lurie. Yes. Right? You're part of Forced Love on SABC1.
Yes.
You're part of Book of Negroes.
Yes.
I've always wanted to ask what your highlight was for that particular year.
Oh, the surprise of getting a Lurie for the commercial that I did. I actually didn't know that actors
get Luries.
were given Luries, so that was awesome. You know, being on Book of Negroes, telling such a heavy but hope-filled story, really nice. And of course the fun of being on Forced Love, playing the bad guy there, which is very nice, yeah.
That's fantastic. Now let's talk about, Red Earth Revisited, touring Europe. Before we get into what the actual story is about, tell me a bit about the experience of being there and telling this incredible classic folk tale.
Well, going to Holland, primarily Amsterdam, and traveling all the theatres around Amsterdam was pretty cool. Such a liberal country where pretty much everything goes. So you have to kind of experience the European life and then kind of focus on working on your craft, you know. So it was fun. It was great. Meeting all sorts of weird and wonderful people from all over Europe, yeah.
And now for those who don't know what Red Earth Revisited is all about, tell us about the story, how it began for it, you know, from the actual Xhosa folk story all the way through to the stage production.
Cool. The story really goes about Mhlagaza, the young prophetess, I think she was about 12, who was told by her ancestors that it's time for the Xhosas to kill all of their cattle, and kind of destroy all their crops, so that they would be strong enough to rise again. Because at the time the British were kind of moving into South Africa. She does this with the help of her uncle, and obviously a couple of other players that there's no real kind of concrete proof that these players were in the game. And her uncle, being quite a strong person in the village, kind of manages to convince people to listen to her. And yeah, then the story goes, you know, like we Xhosas, we decide to kill our meat and, you know, like our maize. And so we starve, and so we all die. Well, not all of us die, but like a lot of us kind of perish along the way. And then in terms of the European experience, the story was written for a child audience predominantly, but also open to like your other like range of ages. That for me was absolutely fantastic.
That's awesome.
Kind of being on stage and performing to a full house of like between the age of 8 and 15.
That's wonderful.
So then you have to kind of
check yourself
change your
sometimes.
performance.
But why do you think it's so important, you know, talking about children from all across the world, taking these authentic South African stories to them, why do you think it is so vital?
For me, I think in terms of emotional expression and emotional receiving, children are probably the best because they'll always be ready to emote. Storytelling is something that goes to that part of us, you know, like the emotional side, the fun side, the playful side, the teaching side, the learning side. So when you're dealing with kids, kids will always get it, whether like they'll always buy it or not buy it.
Got you.
And it's up to you to be as honest and as good as you are, like in terms of telling story.
But you know, this Red Earth Revisit is uniquely South African. What do you think it is about South African stories at large that make them, you know, one in a million?
Our stories, we have a rich history that comes from everything that we've been through, from colonization, apartheid, like all of that stuff, and it's not only like black people's stories that are interesting. There's beautiful stories about the Table Mountain. I mean the tablecloth on Table Mountain, where Van Riebeeck is having something or other with the devil underneath that. So there's lots of wonderful. I think it's also the fact that we're very expressive as people.
Very true. Very true.
We're nicely loud. We enjoy like sun. We enjoy being alive. I think.
And theatre is also, you know, quite expressive. Would you say that, I want to know, in terms of preserving and communicating the South African story or any story, do you think it's a strong medium versus, let's say, maybe literature or film?
I think, well, film for me, like, because we live in an age where media has become very digital, I think film would be your most accessible. Theatre is extremely expressive. I don't think, and literature is just as expressive. I don't think any which one is better or stronger than another.
Okay.
I think using them in tandem or using them together, you'll be able to tell beautifully creative and wonderful stories.
So is that what you want there for 2016? Are you going to take this story further, you know, out of Europe into other parts of the world? And what can we expect from you this year?
I'm at a point now where I'm kind of feeling I'm ready to kind of express my own stories. The world is full of very interesting people with very interesting stories, and being an actor, people tend to tell you a lot of their stories.
I love that.
And then you learn, and you can basically knit together lovely little crafty stories that you can share with the very same people that tell you these stories. So with the help of my wonderful publicist, I'm getting ready to start telling my own.
Yeah. And you know, after I hear you saying that, you can see every day more and more Africans, more and more South Africans want to hear our stories. We want to hear our own stories. And we want us to tell our own stories, right?
And I think the biggest challenge for us, is us kind of owning our own stories and not allowing somebody else to write.
I want to ask you actually about that Beyonce debacle and her wanting to do that. So I want to know
I want to know
your thoughts about that. So he's not going anywhere. Make sure you stay with us, because after the break, we're making some seriously chocolatey meringues, and we continue our conversation around storytelling in South Africa with award-winning poet Nathan Trantraal. Don't move.
Five Roses blends only the top 2 leaves of the finest Ceylon teas, because nobody makes better tea than you and Five Roses.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now it's Tuesday and time to get sweet in the kitchen. And today we're making some seriously chocolatey meringues, the perfect ending to your dinner, easy to make and delicious to eat. Now we've got our Salati Caster Snow, and Lexi from Ma Mère Maison is here to show us how. Remember, all you need to do is visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and everything you need to know is right there. But we're going to learn now like a show and tell.
Yes.
Because this is imperative. This is possibly one of my favourite things in the world to eat.
I've done a little bit of prep for us over here.
Okay.
So I've whipped up our egg whites to a soft, foamy peak. I've put in a pinch of tartar, cream of tartar, and what that's going to do is stabilise the meringue. So it's going to stop it from collapsing into a puddle.
Okay.
So I beat that up to a soft peak. Then what you're going to do is 1 tablespoon at a time, you're going to add your caster snow. The reason we do that is so that the sugar can melt completely into the egg whites, so that you have a lovely kind of ungrainy meringue. You want a nice smooth texture.
Yeah, of course. It's got to be smooth. But how I like my meringues, I don't know if everybody else does, but I especially like them if they're crispy outside and then you almost break them up and have a bit of a chewiness in the middle. How is that achieved?
What you can do is pour your caster snow before you start your recipe onto a baking tray. Put it in the oven just until the edges start to melt, and then scoop it off the tray and put it into the mixer. And that hot sugar helps to give you the extra kind of...
Because it almost caramelizes.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Salati giving us crunchy, chewy, yummy meringues.
Our mixer's on full, and I'm going to pour sugar in, leave it to beat until it's dissolved. Then I'm going to pour the next bit in. There we go. And you can see the meringue's getting beautiful and glossy and smooth, and you want that lovely gloss.
Exactly.
Then next we're going to chuck in our vanilla essence.
We're absolutely going to have to do that test. You know, the test to see if the meringue's ready, which is by holding the bowl over your head.
I'd be very happy to hold it over yours.
I'll do it, I'll do it.
Right, so we've got lovely, fluffy meringue. And what I'm going to do is just put it into this glass bowl here so that you can see what we're doing.
Okay, wait.
Okay? Nailed it.
Okay, it's all ready. That could have gone either way.
Right, so that's going to go into the bowl. And then what I've done in the meantime as well is pre-melted my chocolate. So we're going to fold the chocolate into the meringue, but you don't want to stir it in until it's completely...
Okay.
Until you've got brown meringues.
Okay.
So just fold it in.
Must I do it now?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, so folding, I've learned this
Just
before on the
fold.
show, like that.
Yes. And just till you've got
doing this properly.
pockets of chocolate and lovely kind of swirls. Oh, it's good.
No, this is absolutely ridiculous how amazing this is.
Right.
I mean,
I'm gonna...
just hanging out on a Tuesday in the kitchen with the most delicious thing ever.
Right, that I'm going to stop you right now.
Okay.
You can see we've got bits of chocolate, we've got bits of white meringue. We're ready to go.
Okay.
So I've got a prepared baking tray here, and I'm going to scoop that straight off there, super easy, with a tablespoon, and just
That's it. You're
plonk
just
it
gonna
straight
pop them.
onto the tray.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
What
nice.
you
So they're going to be
can
quite
do-
rustic. They don't
Yeah.
grow or swell or...
They
because
will
there's no
grow a
yeast in
little
there.
bit.
Okay.
But what you can also do is put a little dip in the center like that. So
Why?
once they are baked, we can fill that little center with chocolate hazelnut cream. So it's like a little nest.
Lexi, you are my spirit animal. I love you. Look how incredible this is.
We're only
That one's
halfway
quite
there.
big, but I suppose
I'm
that's
gonna
quite
add
nice.
to that little one. I think it's quite nice to have a big one. I feel like they just look really grand and beautiful.
Amazing. Remember, the recipe is on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Right now, Bonnie is on the couch with our next guest while I am left with the spatula.
For his debut collection of poems called Chokers and Survivors, inspired by the social difficulties experienced by the poor communities in the Cape Town area, author, columnist and cartoonist Nathan Trantraal won the 2015 Ingrid Jonker Literary Award in the category for English or Afrikaans poetry. He joins us today to tell us more about his work and why it's important to tell our own stories. Welcome, Nathan.
Nice to be here.
Congratulations on your award. Tell us about the award. What does it mean to you?
Oh, the award, well, it puts me in for someone like myself who's writing from this kind of perspective of the stories I'm writing about, it's important for me to receive this reward award because it's the...
And it is a reward.
Yeah, it is. It's a reward for a lot of work, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't expect to make money out of poetry.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you write good poetry or you work in literature,
Yeah.
I think there is this kind of support system. And the Poetry Award or the Ingrid Jonker Award, it's just a way of saying that, you know, you've accomplished something. You've done something
and it encourages you to carry on.
Something that sort of you've some way helped the literature of the country.
And as a poet and a cartoonist, why is it important for you to tell stories?
For me personally, it's survival. For me as a human being, because I was thinking about this actually. I was thinking about this interview yesterday, this interview we're doing now. I was thinking, what is it about stories what makes you write stories?
Yeah.
And I think you get a lot of different sort of stories, but for the kind of writing that I do, for me, it's a way of taking experiences, terrible experiences often, and putting it in a form that's manageable. So if I write about something, and I can keep it in my hands, it's not this big thing that surrounds me all the time. It's something that I've sort of managed to make smaller and maybe a little more understandable for myself.
And get on top of it.
Yeah. And if other people read the stories, then maybe they have the same experiences.
Yeah.
So I do.
You draw your inspiration from growing up in the Cape Flats and living there and from real life experiences. Yeah. What are some of these real life experiences that are very important to you to write about?
For me, when I write, I think it always comes down to family. It's kind of the thing that I always...
Like the core.
Yeah. And so when I write, so the stories in Chokers and Survivors is essentially about my family and my growing up.
Sure.
And it's about sort of things falling apart and the way we kind of stood by each other at difficult times.
Yeah.
Or sometimes just the way everyone sort of just fell apart and the effects of those things. Then also I write a lot about the place where I grew up in Bishop Lavis and Mitchell's Plain.
Yes.
Because I think there's a connection to these places like you can never sort of... You
Separate
can never sever those connections. I still can't go to Bishop Lavis. It's very difficult for me to go there because...
Are there a lot of memories that you still have to deal with?
I think mostly my whole life is almost in Bishop Lavis and say the life I'm living now. So I got married for I think 4 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I have a kid and that's my life for maybe 4 or 5 years. That's been my life.
Yeah.
But the rest of my life is with Bishop Lavis.
Wow.
It's the longest period of my life.
Yeah.
So it's,
You write in a version of Afrikaans called Kaps.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to denote this dialect and to write in it?
Yeah, so you see, what I'm doing when I'm writing is I'm not styling it. I'm just writing it. I'm just expressing things in my own way.
You're telling it like it is.
Yes, because why shouldn't we be allowed to do that? You know, it's like it's my language.
Yeah.
I've lived in this language. I've experienced everything I've experienced in this language.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason I should feel inferior when
Of course.
And Kaps is a language that has a very rich history. You know, it's not something that started. We started.
And very expressive.
We didn't start it yesterday. It's longer than Afrikaans.
Wow. Yeah. I've been so excited to ask you this. Please, can you read an excerpt for us? Your chosen excerpt. Sorry.
I think I'm just going to read something that, if my mom's at home.
It's mild enough for mom to hear.
It's very mild, but but it's about her, so she's probably...
Is it honoring?
She's probably cursing at the TV right now.
That's wonderful. How long did it take you to write it?
For me, actual writing of the book didn't take very long. It took me 3 months to write, but I had nothing else to do. So,
awesome.
But
have you found it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a poem called Hame.
Hame.
Yeah, it's just it's Kaps for mommy.
For mommy,
yeah.
Okay.
Ik heb die gedig 2 keer geskryf. Van my ma het die eerste een gelees. Toe sê sy vir my, sy kan nie hoe al goed skryf nie. Hulle gaan my nie tronk opsluit. Het is by haar wat ek geleer het hoe om te hassel. Nie hy gangster hassel nie, maar hy vrou alleen sorg vir 6 kinders hassel. Die righteous hassel. My ma het my geleer om sentimental te wees. Die eerste ding wat sy gepon het, was haar trouringe. Mijn ma groet gangsters en keek mensen dezelfde. Want ze die keek mensen gekend voor alle gangsters geraakt. En die gangsters voor alle later te verreageerd. Mijn ma respect niemand te veel of te min. Zij roept 3 pakjes eentjes a dag als ze eet. En als ze niet eet, dan telt ze toppertjes op en zwaait voor spulletjes met die phoneboek. Als ze heel dag gerookt heeft, dan voelt elke paf zoals een man size hit. Mijn ma gelooft niks en ze gelooft alles. En ze zal nooit weten als ze liggen. Ze heeft voor mij geleerd om te liggen. En om een story te vertellen. En om te worry. Die secret is om te gaan slapen. Ze worry bitter als ze uitgerust is.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. I heard every word actually, so I'm quite proud of myself. It's absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Wow. If you're a fan of poetry and would like to win a copy of Chokers and Survivors, then now is your chance. Simply SMS the keyword express, your name and city to 33728 to stand a chance. SMSs cost R1.50, T's and C's apply, and are available on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. After the break, we take a look at an interesting book of South African stories and trivia called Awesome South Africa. And we take a trip to the Michael Maven HQ in Joburg to see what idea they've come up with for Jeannie's outfit for the 2016 Met.
Another delicious recipe brought to you by Salati Sugar. Always good, always sweet.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, 5 years ago, Derryn Campbell, who started the Awesome South Africa movement, launched a bright yellow and fun coffee table book about South Africa and what makes us so unique. It hit the bestsellers list, sold more than 60,000 copies, and was shortlisted for the Nielsen Booksellers' Choice Award. Last year saw the launch of a new edition of the book entitled Absolutely Awesome South Africa, with even more fun and interesting facts and quirks than the first. Welcome, Derryn, to Afternoon Express.
Thank you. So great to be here in this loft.
Yeah, it is great. Now, I want to ask you, what exactly is the Awesome South Africa initiative?
Well, as you said, 5 years ago, together with colleagues, we started the Awesome SA initiative to involve South Africans to influence their future, to get us to actually appreciate this magnificent, wonderful country,
yes,
and to drive change, and to know that if we wanted to be what we wanted to be, it's up to each and every one of us. It's not for the politicians,
yeah,
or for the rich, or for people who make decisions. It's each and every one of us can make a difference to where we take this country.
Exactly. And from there, you took that inspiration, I suppose, from Awesome South Africa, and then started this gorgeous coffee table book.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was planning. It definitely just happened. And I just took all the positive stories, the fun, the information that we share on social media, and put it together in a book for people who want to share with me the South Africa that I know, the one that's vibrant and colourful and so exciting.
Exactly. And 60,000 copies, I mean, that's huge.
Well, everyone would say to me, who's your publisher? And it turned out to be that I was the publisher, and we just put these books out there and people loved it, because it's so great to know that I wasn't the only one that was feeling, wow, there's so much more to this country than just the tourism or just the history. There's just fun and laughter and vibrancy and cultures that we need to share.
And then, due to the success of Awesome South Africa, you then have recently, I think it was in October,
yes,
that you then launched Absolutely Awesome South Africa.
Lots of fun, and I was very fortunate. I used a designer called Kirsty Sturton, young girl, and what she's put together in that book, I thought, how can I bring out a second book to match the first? And I'm very proud to say, I think what Kirsty did and the way we've put the book together, I think it's even nicer than the first book, which is great.
Yeah.
All these fun pages. It's doing something you really enjoy, something you love.
Well, having a look at these books, something that I really enjoyed about them is that you found South Africanisms to put in, like the things about the chappie rappers. And why are these books so popular, do you think? Why do you think people want to read?
I think because we all identify with it. We actually see in the book the South Africa that we know, not the South Africa that's portrayed in the media
So this
and on the
isn't
news.
for tourists then, this is for
Well,
locals.
the tourists love it, and the South Africans love it to give to their tourists, because it portrays so much more than just tourism or just the negative stories that are in the media. It actually shows everyday life in South Africa, the everyday life that you can say, Aish, it's been a hard day, or today Aikona, I've got a babalas. You know those South African sayings.
Exactly.
When nobody else but a South African understands what you mean when you say we're having a jol. I mean, that is just so South African. And those are the things I wanted to portray in the book. And I think that's why people have enjoyed it and have shared it with the tourists and the foreigners. Lots and lots of corporate gifts, because corporate gifts are generally dull and boring. And these the people just love to give something that's fun and exciting. And that's how we spread the positive news. And in the book is how you can also influence the future and make a difference.
Now, with the absolutely awesome South Africa initiative and the books, as well as your newsletters, you focus very strongly on storytelling. Why do you think storytelling is so important?
Well, storytelling tells it from the heart. It relates what people feel inside. It's not the media and there's so many things from the past that we need to remember and appreciate and love. And I think it brings understanding. You know, when you tell someone else's story, you see it from their perspective. And that's what's so nice, to share the stories in the book from the past and all the different cultures and the different people.
And sharing you are doing indeed, because this is also linked to a really good initiative, the Zenzele project. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, we under Awesome SA, we actually have a whole lot of initiatives, non-charities which need exposure and help, and we work as a umbrella body for the whole for all these organizations that want some help. So we have
well, tell us about Zenzele as an example of one of those.
Well, you know, with all the initiatives we have, all the different ones, we have all these ways of supporting them. So whether it's managerial or raising funds or just giving them, linking with networks and that. And these people all the organizations just do such amazing work that it's the individuals that drive the
what
change.
What kind of work does Nzele do? Are they reading, do they promote reading? Or?
Yes, and really it's just changing lives. And all these people are changing lives and making a difference in the country. And,
fantastic.
And that is great.
Well, thank you so much for giving us these books and for all of the hard work that you do. Now, in case you were sitting and coveting these fantastic coffee table books, they can be yours. We are giving away a hamper of 2 of these sensational books. All you need to do is SMS books, your name and city to 33728. SMSs cost R1.50 each. T's and C's do apply. They could be yours. SMS now and you will win both. Don't you think they're absolutely gorgeous? Right now, though, Bonnie's standing by.
Now, over the past few weeks, each of us have collaborated with a local designer to share our style brief for the 2016 Met. This week, we're catching up with the creative minds behind some of South Africa's biggest fashion brands to see how they've stirred up a rare blend of fashion for the upcoming race day. Let's check in on the progress of Jeannie's design by Michael Maven.
So last week I gave the incredible designers at Michael Maven the brief and a little bit of my inspiration for this edgy, unique outfit for the Met 2016. This week we're going to see how far we've gotten. We've got sketches, we've got fabric samples, and I'm so excited to see what they've come up with.
In our previous episode, Jeannie revealed her Instagram crush and sports luxe inspiration to stir up a rare fashion blend for the 2016 Met.
I haven't slept this whole week, just running through my brain, trying to imagine what it is that you've created for me.
Okay, Jeannie, so for this one, we do have 2 options, and these were our favorite options for you. Our first one over here is the crossbody crop top, which I know you absolutely love. It shows off a lot of your skin. There's a lot of midriff action happening as well. I know you said you wanted a little slit, so we put a little slit in there for you to show off your lovely legs.
We can always make it a little higher if you want to be a little bit more sexy, so.
Oh, I love that.
Our second option is a dress, and it's a cutout dress. It's slightly more sophisticated, but we still want to play up that nice sports luxe element to it. It has a little bit of embellishment on it, but we're thinking about cutting that down for you because we want to still stay quite minimal, sexy, streamlined, minimalist, but still sports luxe.
The cutouts will be at the smallest part of your waist, so I think that will play up your form really nicely.
I've been following a lot of these fashion pages, and I noticed what's really trending is those very high slits where you can actually see the hip bone, but it's done almost with a gusset or some kind of a bodysuit, I suppose, so that you don't flash too much.
I think that could be very sexy.
I think it would be amazing for you. And since we're going so minimal as well, I think that would just be like that
statement, you know.
Statement, a little pop of action
Yeah.
going on there. And you can decide whether you want 1 or 2 slits, and we'll play around with that for you.
That is brilliant. So I'm leaning towards the first option because I think it fits best with the theme of the Met, because it reminds me then of the rare blend. So, and of course my inspiration, which was the pop culture and social media. So it's really progressive and edgy, but it's also really simple. So I love it.
Imagine this in white, either off-white or stark white, depending on whichever one you want to go for. So we have this crossbody look, showing off a lot of your tan. I think it would match perfectly with your tan. And then the skirt in that lovely, lovely color that is going to make your skin pop. So we went and sourced a couple of, Duchess satin for you.
Some woven fabric as well.
Yeah.
Because it's lightweight, so it will be perfect for those hot summer days.
So yeah, we've got like an off-white Duchess satin and the more stark whites. I'm not sure which one you'd like. We've also got like a black and white checkered. It is slightly heavier, so I'm not sure if you want to go with that for the Met because it tends to get very hot on the body. So we'd like to play a little bit more with these color palettes over here.
So the next time I see you will be the final fitting. This glorious crop, this super high slit. Okay, so I'm going to get on the treadmill and in the sun. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the fitting. I'm so excited. It's almost like a wedding dress fitting.
While Jeannie is getting ready to wow at the 2016 Met, follow the Rare Blend collaborations here on Afternoon Express.
She's absolutely adorable. Now, if you want to show off your own Rare Blend outfit at the 2016 Met, we're giving away an amazing VVIP experience to one lucky winner and partner worth 24,000 Rand. Prizes include flights, accommodation, and all transfers for the weekend to enjoy the 2016 Met in VIP style. Simply SMS the keyword Met along with your name and city to 33728, and it could be you. Remember, SMSs cost R1.50 and T's and C's do apply. So visit our website for details. After the break, we chat to singer-songwriter Luna Paige, and she'll be treating us to a live performance, so stay right where you are. Don't go away.
Fresh Pack. Goodness comes naturally.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, because of the magic of TV, let's assume that we fast-forwarded 1 hour and 100 degrees, and this is what we have. So remember, these babies cook or bake rather. Yes. Let's not cook the meringues. Bake the meringues at 100 degrees for 1 hour until you are able to lift the meringue easily off your grease-proof paper. And they're looking amazing, delicious. I have to tell you. Delicious.
Well, we're only halfway there, so we've still got all of this to get involved in all of that.
Look, I'm quite impressed that I even had the discipline to put these in the oven in any case, because I thought it looked quite nice just as like a wet marshmallow anyway. But now they are baked. And
what we're going to do now is make our chocolate hazelnut cream. So I've put some cream into a bowl, and I've started by beating it up a little bit. I'm going to beat it a little bit more.
Just fresh cream. You just buy one of those little things of fresh cream,
yes.
Throw it in. Okay.
And you could, just as easily use, there we go. You could just as easily use ice cream. And it is so hot at the moment that it wouldn't be the worst thing to do.
No.
So I'm going to scoop in, this is just some chocolate hazelnut cream that we've bought. We'll spread, actually. And I'm going to give that to you to...
It's not even fair how much
I'm going to give that to you to fold,
hazelnut.
Because that's your...
Yeah, I'm a good folder.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're just going to...
You're just going to mix it in until it's nice and chocolatey, and you can give it quite a vigorous stir.
Yeah, I'm going to just in the beginning.
Yes. Then what I've got over here is some melted chocolate. I've got some crushed roasted hazelnuts. You can just as easily add in any other nut of your choice, any other sprinkle, whatever you've got in your cupboards, just to jazz it up a little bit.
Yes. Now you're talking about language. Oh, this is just delicious.
It is so good.
Okay,
It's
there you go.
bowl-licking stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to find 2 meringues that are roughly the same size. So these guys kind of look pretty good. And I'm going to put one on our plate there. Then I'm going to use our spoon and put a lovely
dollop.
Even
the word dollop is great. It just describes
sounds like tasty. I'm going to put a dollop of cream. I'm going to stick another one on top.
Oh, that
okay,
is
we're just going to make a pile.
Ridiculously decadent.
Then...
And you just glue them all together?
Yes. Sorry, I've dirtied my spoon now. I wasn't thinking.
No, don't worry.
Now we're going to get a little bit of melted chocolate.
Oh,
and just because there's never enough chocolate. And then I'm going to ask you to drizzle our hazelnuts.
You don't need to ask me twice. I like it finely chopped, so I'm going to go for the fine ones.
And give it a sprinkle. And then just a small detail.
Really?
If you do put your meringues in the oven and they come out cracked and split, it means that your oven is too hot. So everybody's ovens, you know, we say 100 degrees, but my oven's 100 degrees could be your oven's 120.
Oh, really?
Some ovens, yes, differ.
So much. Okay.
So if they come out cracked, next time just turn your oven down a little bit and they will be fine.
But if they come out a little bit cracked, can we just fill them with chocolate?
You can, just stuff the cracks, you know, and I think it looks prettier. Otherwise, it's, you know, a little bit too perfect.
Oh,
so you want a
perfection is in
big,
flaws.
bursting, beautiful chocolate, crunchy, chewy,
sensational. Oh, lovely.
Yes.
This is absolutely delicious. I know that you're sitting at home salivating just as much as what I am right now. The difference is I get to lick the bowl. So the recipe is on the website afternoonexpress.co.za. Right now, though, Bonang is on the couch with a fantastic songstress.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jeannie. With 5 albums behind her name, 2 international tours, and a list of hit singles, Luna Paige is one of South Africa's strongest female singers and songwriters with a knack for telling stories through her music. With her latest albums, Borders and Beyond, Luna provokes and inspires with a powerful voice and beautiful lyrics. Welcome, Luna, to Afternoon Express. How are you?
I'm very well.
Lovely to meet you.
Yes.
Wow. Now, today's theme on the show, obviously, is the power of storytelling. And part of it being a singer and a songwriter is writing a story to a melody. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
Well, I guess firstly, when I was young, it was a bit egocentrical, so it all came, you know, and love, love, love. But then as I grew older, then more important issues came to the forefront, you know. Yeah. So I think basically it's experience, life, getting to know people, listening to their stories, and then also my own interactions with people and how I respond to it or don't. It all comes into the music.
And talking about people, speaking to people, obviously you have a master's degree in social work.
Yeah.
Tell me, you know, that side of your life, apart from the music, what do you do on a daily basis?
Well, I used to be a social worker. Eventually I had to choose between the two. It just got too tiring, so I chose music. But it was probably the best years of my life in terms of self-growth. You know, if you work in that world, then you can't doubt yourself. You can't be afraid. You can't be a little timid girl like I can come across.
Yes.
Often. You need to be tough, and you have to learn to stand your ground. So it actually helped me a lot to just have confidence on a performance level and learn to speak and know that I actually have a brain and I can actually say what I think and want. Right. So, yeah, it opened my eyes to South Africa, to the realities of people in this country. I mean, obviously I grew up relatively privileged. I mean, my mother was actually poor and we was a single mother, but still, in comparison, I was privileged. So it really opened my eyes to other people's stories and what's really going on out there.
Yeah. Let's talk about, you know, some of the stories, and Beyond Borders is the single from your brand new album.
Yes.
Tell me about that single and the message that I think you want people to take from that song and this album.
Yeah, I think the whole album was sort of, it's about physical borders, but also personal ones, and the fact that we can keep ourselves back in relationships and with close ones, and more big micro and meso and macro relationships, but also the Beyond Borders song was for me a song for South Africa. Because it was 2014 when I brought it out, and it was 20 years after the New South Africa, and I did some introspection and realized that I don't really live as an integrated life as I would like to. And I think the recent things, also all these sad things happening, people sort of pointing fingers, retaliating, blaming, defending. And just today, none of these people who were here, I've ever heard of them, sadly enough. And now that I've heard their stories, I want to know them. I want to hang out with them.
I love that. That's what we're here to do, connect you, girl.
Yes, but that's my whole point. And I just felt with this song, I wanted to tell people, it's time we start sharing our personal stories. It's the only way we're going to get to know each other, and we might even find that there are more similarities than differences.
Absolutely.
And it might sound idealistic, but what else can we do?
Yeah. That's the theme of today's, show, the power of storytelling. But you are going to be performing that song, Beyond Borders, after the break. But Luna, thank you very much for coming through. I know you have something special for Valentine's Day that's coming up, but you'll give us the details a little bit later. If you would like to win a copy of Luna's latest album, Borders and Beyond, SMS the keyword music and your name and city to 33728 now. And remember, SMSs cost R1.50 and T's and C's apply. So visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za for details. Stay right where you are. After the break, Luna is going to treat us to that soulful live performance. More after the break.
Another delicious recipe brought to you by Salati Sugar. Always good, always sweet.
Clicks. Feel good. Pay less.
Welcome back. You're live on Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. Just in time for our live performance here in the loft. Luna Paige is standing by. But before you sing that amazing song for us, I know you have another single that's going to be released on Valentine's Day. Tell us more.
Yes, it's my first Afrikaans single in a very long time, and we are launching it on a wine farm outside of Stellenbosch, but they can check on my website. It's just lunapaige.com, and it goes hand in hand with the new single, which you get for free if you attend the show.
That's amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I am dying to hear this song. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Luna Paige performing Beyond Borders. Take it away.
Take a breath of fresh air and close your eyes. Open your heart before we start. There's a story in me and there's one in you. We live and let live, but let's start anew. 'Cause we've been running around in circles far too long. Ignorance, it is not bliss. It leaves too many things amiss. These things we don't see, hidden in our history. And don't ever let them say we can't love beyond borders, borders and beyond. Come a little closer, I want to hear you speak of your loves and your losses and the things you seek. Could there be a road that we've both walked on? That golden thread of life that we depend on. Though our homes are far apart, where we're heading is the same. Not to walk there side by side would be shame. 'Cause we've been running around in circles far too long. Ignorance, it is not bliss. It leaves too many things amiss. These things we don't see, hidden in our history. Oh, don't ever let them say we can't love, love beyond borders.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, we take a look at the employment opportunities available to recent high school graduates who don't want to further their studies. We're joined by recruitment experts as well as a representative from a travel agency to discuss gap year options available to young adults.
Another feel-good production.
Hi, YouTubers. Thank you so much for watching the show. Be sure to not miss another episode by clicking subscribe right over there. And we'll see you every day. Afternoon Express. Enjoy.